Hi, welcome to the 8th edition of our Sometime Cooking Show. What we're going to do for you now is we're going to do a dish that we use quite regularly in the restaurant to sell it, essentially. It's really very, very simple to do. It's something that you probably wouldn't do at home, right? It's making tuile biscuits. Now we do our tuile biscuits in a very special way. We make them vegan and we make them gluten-free. Okay, so no egg whites, no flour. What we use instead is we use a mix of ground flax seeds and water to mirror what the egg whites do, or the egg whites, and we use some gluten-free flour. It's very simple, but it's one of those things. If you've got a tuile, if you mention the word tuile on a dish, people want to buy it. So we do savoury versions of this with some vegetarian parmesan, and that helps us to sell a risotto. Without that, the risotto doesn't sell at all. So really, it's a bit of a cheats dish. It's something that, again, it's one of those dishes. The reason why we put this whole series together is to show you how to make dishes that seem pretty difficult at first, or they look difficult on paper, but once you've seen them being done, if you've got the right equipment, it's actually unbelievably simple. Now I've just got to go and get some flax eggs, so if Leanne, you cut it there for just 1 second. Okay, so we've got some flax seeds, okay? Now these are very, very small seeds. These are white ones, as you can see, little white flax seeds. Don't use the black ones because you'll get a bad result. It'll look black. I don't think anybody wants a black tuile because it looks like it's been burnt. So what we do is we take our flax seeds. I'll put those ones in there like so. Those off. My God, they're sticky. So we put our flax seeds. This is a coffee grinder which we use to grind spices and all sorts of stuff. So I just popped a few flax seeds into the coffee grinder, pop the lid on, hope for the best, and press go. Now these coffee grinders come with lights which tell you whether you've got a fine, a medium, or a rough roast. I ignore the lights. Basically what I'm doing is I'm looking at the inside. I can see my seeds in there. Okay, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to turn these into a powder. Now if I take that off, you'll see that that's a powder. Now what I'll do is I'll just tip that into the lid and give it a tap to release the rest. Okay, and there are my flax seeds, ground flax seeds. What we do with this is we take, Lee used to keep on looking at that and I'll be just getting a spoon. So what we do with this is we take some of these, and I'd say about 2 heaped teaspoons. Okay, so 2 heaped teaspoons of flax seeds, that goes in to this is just a hand blender, right? So it's just, you know, if you've got one of these, brilliant. If you haven't, tough luck. It's quite a job to whisk these up by hand. Okay. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to knock the tap on. I'm going to put about 30 to 50 ml of water in this. Okay, so a little bit of cold water. Now you can see it's just a small amount in there. There's not a massive amount of water in there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pop the top of this on. And I'm going to blend the water and the flax seeds together. And what we're going to get is we're going to get something that's quite gloopy and glutinous. Let's hope for the best. Fingers crossed. I'll take a look. Yes, it's coming together beautifully. Right, okay. Now then, let's take a look at this. You can see that this, if I grab that spoon again, you can see now that this has gone all, oh my God, that absolutely looks disgusting. Okay, those are what are called flax eggs, which you can use in baking, you can use it as an egg substitute in whatever dish you want to do. Okay, so that's essentially our egg whites. Right, pop that onto my scales and turn the scales on. Hopefully it's on 0. It is. Right, now the next thing is we've got 3 other ingredients. Leanne, could you focus on the ingredients please? we have some Dove's Farm plain white flour. We have some pure dairy-free soy margarine, and we have some caster sugar. What I'm going to do, I'm going to grab a spoon, another spoon, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pop in the butter and the sugar. Now Leanne, how much do I want here? 80 grams? Okay, 80 grams. So that's what we're going to go with, 80 grams of, we're going to say butter, it's not butter, of course, it's vegan margarine. Okay, 86 grams. No big deal there. The same amount of sugar, so about 80 grams of sugar to go in. That's going to take me up to, in fact, 172 if I put exactly the same amount in. 154, 156. Here we go. It's getting close. And there we are, 170 grams. That's the first thing that we're going to do. Okay, so those are all the simple ingredients: flax, eggs, a little bit of vegan margarine, a little bit of sugar. Last thing is a little bit of gluten-free flour. So we're going to put 100 grams. So our basic recipe is 80, 80, 100. Okay, so we're going to do 100. That's going to take me up to 270. Okay, I've gone over the top a little bit there. That's 278. This isn't science. Okay, this is not science. This is going to work. These measurements, you don't have to get them exact, but you know, close enough. Right, put it all together into the blender. This is why having stuff like this makes our job a heck of a lot easier. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I fully incorporate the pure margarine. What I don't want when I actually come to make these, I do not want lumps of margarine inside my mix. It's something that will really annoy me when I'm doing that in the restaurant. Right, that's it. Okay, there's our mix. What I'm going to do with that, I'm just going to pop it in the fridge for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how easy it is to just drop it onto a mat, pop it in the oven, and make some pretty shapes. Okay, so there's our mix. Go into the fridge. Back in 5. Okay, welcome back. This is our 8th series, or 8th program. This is the vegan and gluten-free tuile. Now then, let me just tell you something about the tuiles. The beautiful thing about the tuiles is, that was the onions falling down out there. The beautiful thing about the tuiles is that, you know, these can be flavoured with anything you want, okay? So we've done it with cardamom, we've done it with black pepper on the last menu, and we had some strawberries. We've done them with elderberries, make a cannoli. And I'll show you how to make a cannoli with them today. Okay, so this has been in the fridge for 5 to 10 minutes. Very, very simple. Now all that I do, okay, you can, if you want, get a piece of acetate. And we used to do that, get a piece of acetate, draw little circles on the acetate, cut those circles out, and then place the acetate onto your mat. Now this here, you'll see, is one of those cracking reusable bits of silicone that we can just pop in, wash, and use again and again and again, okay? Until I cut it, and then we have to throw it out. I try not to cut it as often as I used to, right? So essentially what we do now is you just take a little bit, okay, just a nice heaped teaspoon of your mix, and I always do this in 4s. The reason being, I like to get it around the outside of the mat. Why do I like to get it outside of the mat, I hear you say? Because we've got a fan oven, and the fan oven is a pain in my neck because it keeps on blowing everything around. Now a slip mat here is much better than baking paper. We do it with baking paper as well. The problem with baking paper is because it's lighter than this, when you put it in the fan oven, it tends to buckle up and you get all sorts of weird and wonderful things coming out. Right, I've got my palette knife. Now, what I've been doing recently is just very, very simple. We just take the palette knife and work it back and forth, turn it into that shape. And I think I'll probably bring this over to you guys so that you can actually see this a little better. Is that better, Leanne? Yes, nodded that is better. Now, so what I normally do is just start back and forth, Okay, I was a plasterer once upon a time, so I'm very, very good at doing this. So back and forth, get that. Now, like I said, if you've got a template, you can use a template for this, and you can turn it into a circle. Now I'm going to try and turn this into a rough circle just by, and it's going to be very rough by the looks of this, just by moving my mix around, and I will try and make a bowl out of this one if it works. It's going to be rough, but in the canteen, rough is never actually the worst thing. Okay, so there's a rough circle done with the old palette knife. If I had a template, it'd be a lot better. Okay, that's it really. I mean, that's tuile biscuits done. Okay, that just goes in. Now I got the ovens heated to 180 degrees. So I'm going to bang this. Look at that. Pick it up and move. Bang that onto my tray into the oven. Okay, and that's going to take now probably between 6 and 8 minutes to cook. All right, so we'll have a little break for a second to eat the rest of that tumbet, and we'll come back and I'll mould those for you into a couple of different shapes. Are we going? We're going. Okay. So tuiles have been in about 6 minutes. Let's have a quick look. Scrap them out. Now then, this is a bit of a pain when you burn your hand on there more often than you'd like. Okay, this is what the tuiles look like. These are really great. Okay, what we can do with these, we can just let these cool down now, put them into a box, and then put them back in the oven for about 30 seconds to a minute, and they go nice and floppy again. Okay, so, but you know, I got no feeling in my fingers anymore since working here. So if I work reasonably quickly, I can show you how to take these into different shapes. Now, one of the things we've made before now is cannoli. Okay, now cannoli is usually deep fried, sort of a deep fried pastry, an Italian dish. The way that we make our cannoli is I just turn them into a nice cannoli shape. Now what we've done in the past with that is we've made an elderflower cream and then filled it with elderflower cream. Not elderflower, elderberry, sorry. This one we can turn into a bowl. Now obviously I don't have a bowl here now. We could turn that into a bowl. You can turn that into a cornet. Okay, to turn it into a bowl, and essentially you can see now it's already set up, right? Okay, that'd be quite nice. There's something in it possibly. This one now is already hard. Okay, that one we've just made, that's our cannoli. This one is hard as well. Let's see if what I just said works. I'm going to pop these now back into the oven just for a couple of seconds. Give me 30 seconds. We're going to see now whether or not I'm a liar or not. So Leanne, if you'll just knock that off for a second. Okay, so it's been about 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Let's go back to it. Oven. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Right, try to burn my fingers now. Right, so we've got our tuiles again. Beautiful, boiling hot. Okay, let's pick this one up. You can see it's gone floppy again. Right, I've got a what is it called, Leanne? A ramekin, thanks. I've got a ramekin here, okay? Essentially what I've got to do is I've got to hold it down on the ramekin. Okay, we can afford 1 or 2 tears in it, but essentially what we're trying to do is we're going to try and make that into a bowl. I'll leave that a second, and let's just turn these into nice shapes. So we have a nice little swirl there, okay? Or if I just take that a little bit more, it's very hot. A nice little cornet shape, okay, where we can, you know, place in some berries or something like that in there. Beautiful cornet. That one, well, look at it. It's a flat biscuit. Perfect. Okay, that's gonna have to go back in the oven, but I'm not gonna do that now because I can't be bothered. Okay, that could, you know, let me just, should I taste it? Oh dear, it's very, very brittle. Look at that. It's delicious. Entirely gluten-free. But, you know, it's not. You know, that's set up really very nicely. It's still quite hot, but it's set up lovely. This one is absolutely perfect. If you look at that, you'll see there isn't a break on there. And that's because of the flax eggs. You know, the gluten-free pastry sucks the moisture out of everything, so you do need the flax eggs. Here we have our bowl, okay? I mean, it's a little bit misshapen, but it's a bowl. Now, in the past what we've done with that is stew some plums, maybe put a little bit of plum in it. If you tell someone you're doing a tuile bowl, you sell the dish. If you've got stewed plums without a tuile bowl, the dish doesn't sell. So very, very simple to do, okay? Very simple recipe. You can change it how you want to, you can spice it how you want to. Chinese 5-spice, beautiful. I'll just continue to oh. I don't know if you can hear that, but they are crispy. Very, very light. Very delicious. Black pepper, strawberries. Oops. Absolutely delicious, okay? So that's it, vegan tuiles. Very, very simple to do. Have a go at it yourself. Cheers.